tell you a few words about him, and then you can decide. Yes. Thank you, Jinesh. One second, I'll just spotlight Sanjeev Sharma sir, who is the co-host now. Yeah. Okay. So Sanjeev sir, Jai Jinendra, Namaskar. Namaskar sir. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine.
How are
Thank you
you?
for inviting me
Thank
here.
you. Thank you. So on behalf of the Department of Genealogy, University of Madras, staff and students, I extend a warm welcome to
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Sanjeev Sharma. And if I have to tell about him and read from his biodata, it will take me at least 20 minutes. But I'll share his biodata with all of you. And I'll just say a few words from his biodata, from his, what to say. I won't tell about what is there in the biodata. He was the coordinator for our Lifetime Achievement Award at Sankeshwarpuram. He was coordinating on behalf of the Guru Bhagwans and Jain Academy of Scholars. And we enjoyed his, what to say, the thorough hospitality and the coordination that he had done. And from Palitana to Ahmedabad, he was the lecturer and we were all the students in the bus, and he gave us so much of information. I said, you have to come and meet my students and talk to them. And he said, okay, fine, ma'am. So today Jayantilal sir is not available, and I just made him one call and he said, okay, I will come. So that's how we have him. And I will just tell a few words about him. Please allow me to go to his curriculum vitae that he has sent to me. He's got working and learning experience as a research investigator with CRRID. All the years he has mentioned. He's got work experience with different organizations and projects related to Indian Railways, UNDP, SIP, ESA, HLL, and Delhi Police. And he did a master trainer with Devo Bhava, Ministry of Tourism. He's conducted so many camps and training programs, and he's got working and training experience in following areas: disaster management, attitude motivation, psychometric profiling, leadership, customer care, presentation, platform skills, interview skills, sales, marketing, time management, emotional empowerment, so many things, so many things. Okay, so you read about his. Hello.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I will forward his biodata to you. You all will read and you all will listen to him now. So he's going to talk about weaponization of everything. And Sanjeev sir, the
Thank
other
you.
side of you are very good, very intelligent, very attentive students from at least 10 countries. And they are all in the first and second year students. Sorry, first and second years, MA Genealogy in the department. So over to Sanjeev Sharma sir. So you will speak for 50 minutes and then 10 minutes for interaction, or as you please, sir.
Okay. So first of all, very warm good evening to all of you. So all of you, I can see you are from different countries because I attended the part of the previous lecture. It was very informative, very enlightening, and very young scholar was enlightening you about Anekantwad. Okay. And first of all, I want to start with my sincere thanks to Dashna ma'am. Am I audible, clear? Excuse me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. So first of all, I want to extend my warm thank you to Dashna ma'am. Just a very informal interaction between us, and she invited me to deliver this talk and share my views with you. As you see, while Madam was reading my biodata, you won't be able to make a head and tail out of it. That's how my journey has been. Basically, I belong to Himachal Pradesh. I was brought up in Punjab. I studied in Chandigarh. I worked in entire India, and I started my journey as a teacher, but I was teaching students economics, then helping students to become competent officers in IAS, IPS. I have trained people on and on the job, off the job, and prepare for the job also. But since last 15 years, I'm working as a volunteer. Okay, I work only partially 1 month as a professional, and rest of the 11 month I work as a volunteer with different organizations who are working doing a good job. Right now, I'm engaged with the Sabarmati Gurukulam Ahmedabad, and the intention is to develop a standard Gurukulam curriculum. We don't have a standard curriculum. So I'm basically given this responsibility to compile whatever work has been done and make a standard, minimum standard framework for Gurukul education system. Now, this is the brief about me. Let us come to the today's topic, that is weaponization of everything. I'm aware that all of you are very sincere student of Jainism, and I have just started learning Jainism sincerely. So I had the opportunity to work with very senior Jain monks, scholars, and scientists also. As ma'am said, I'm Jain. I'm also part of Jain Academy of Scholars. So starting with the today's topic, I'll just take you back to not Jain history, but modern Darwin history. Just to give you an analogy, what we are going to talk about. While Dharmic described that human life all of us started as a very senior advanced monkeys, apes, and our life started in jungle. So human being, as compared to on this earth, according to Darwin perspective, I'm not talking from Jainist perspective right now, okay? So just make a clear distinction. And I'm only using it an analogy to just start my proposition. That we were a smart monkey, but a very poor physically competent monkey. As an animal, we could not fly. We could not run as fast as a cheetah, tiger, or other animal. We could not fight, or as we were as mighty as elephant, and we were not sharp with any of our five senses as compared to other animals. So if we can say in toto, if we compare physicality and five sensory wise, we are the poorest of the animals in the pre-historic jungle conditions. So in order to survive, human being has to use his sixth sense, that is his mind, that is his intellect. And the hallmark of human intellect may be numerous, but the modern sociology and modern psychology consider the most important part of human psychology is that human being has the capacity to innovate, change and mend his thoughts, his perspective, his methods, his habits, his viewpoints, and his actions. And through that, mending his behavior, his own inner psychological state, he can mend his action, physical action. And through that, he has the capacity to alter his surrounding condition. That is the fundamental distinction between a human being and rest of the animal kingdom. So I'm starting with the point that in the prehistorical condition, when we were in the jungle fighting for our survival, then we were attacked by very tiny insects like mosquito. And we were also infested with the very poisonous insects, snakes and lizards and scorpions. And then, of course, elephants and other animals were also there. So in that condition, human being was not able to fight back. So human being start developing tools. And the first tool human being developed was a stone. He picked up the stone and he start using that stone as a tool to break the shell, to throw the stone on the tree and bring the fruit down. That was a tool for the purpose of a utility, as an utility. But simultaneously, he used that tool as a defense, self-defense also. When he was under attack, he threw that same tool on the invading animal to defend himself. But was it limited to that only? No, he used that tool. First, he used that whatever tool he developed, first he used it as a utility. Second, he used that tool in self-defense. And third, he used that tool as a weapon. So when that he threw that tool, which was a very small stone on a tree, he hit the tree. He also hit animals, invading animals, or the animal which he was basically शिकार कर रहे थे जिनका, उनका hunt कर रहा था. But also, this weapon was not restricted to nature. It was also used against other human beings also. So in short, वो पत्थर, the stone, were used against nature, both vegetable as well as animal kingdom, and it was used as an animal, as a weapon against human being also. So the second tool, which we are told by modern science, the human being developed, the second tool was developed as a fire. The fire say they cooked vegetables, they defend themselves from the invading animals, and they also burn the animals. They also burn the jungle, and they also burn their fellow human beings also. So आग से जंगल ही नहीं जले, animal ही नहीं जले, इंसान भी जले. The third tool which human being developed is called weapon as a metal. And metal he used as a bhala, spear, or as a sword. So they cut the jungle with that sword or bhala. They cut the animals also, but they also cut human being. So the entire history of human being, if we see the evolutionary spire of the humanity throughout the history of humanity is simultaneously whatever tools they have been developing as a self-facility, self-innovation, self-preservation, they were also using it self-defense, and they were also using the same tools as a weapon. So whatever human being develops, it simultaneously get developed into a facility, a defense, and a weapon. And after thousands and thousands of years of constant innovation and expansion, our journey of civilization becoming more and more civilized, more and more developed, is also an history of developing tools of defense, utility, and weapons. Since 50 years ago, the human being has been in constant war, whether with nature, jungles, they have been cutting the jungles, they have been killing the animals, and they have been fighting with fellow human beings. Sometime in the name of territory, sometime in the name of language, sometime in the name of trade, sometime in the name of imperialism, sometime in the name of politics. We have been fighting on this earth. So human being जहां जहां है उसके सूक्ष्म से लेके स्थूल जगत तक हर जगह हिंसा और वॉर उसके साथ साथ चलती है. परंतु what we call around 70-75 years ago, we were engaged in war. And then I'll discuss three terms. One is war, second is Cold War, and third is, we call it a trade war. These are three different kind of war human being is fighting right now. And what is the difference between war, Cold War, and trade war? And very interesting poet, he created a very beautiful pun on it. He said, war is when you know who is your animal and you fight face to face. Whether it was gun, whether it was a hand, whether it was a stone, or whether it was a fire, or whether it was any other weapon you were using, you know who is your animal, and they were fighting state face to face, and that was the war. And we have fought already 2 wars: First World War and Second World War. And we have been sharpening our war skills. Only in the Second World War, we killed only 8 crore people. And the amount of killing we have done simultaneously with the state war, we have finished more than 50% of our total vegetation variety. And we have finished more than 50% of flora, both flora and fauna. We are losing near about 25,000 species per annum, 1,000 per species per annum, because of this constant war against nature, against ecology. This is happening. But after the Second World War, when we developed our weapon, we go into the atomic level. Our weapon become very, very minute, and their power become enormously bigger. So we develop hand-on into atomic energy. So atomic energy could have been a blessing for human beings. But as Acharang rightly point out, कि आप एक जीव के साथ हत्या करेंगे, के साथ हिंसा करेंगे, तो 2 जीवी, 3 जीवी, 4 जीवी, 5 जीवी जीवों की हत्या अपने आप हो जाएगी, क्योंकि 5 इंद्रिय जीवों का आधार 4 जीव है, 4 जीवों की का आधार 3 जीव है, 3 जीवी इंद्रियों का आधार 2 इंद्रिय है, 2 इंद्रियों का आधार 1 इंद्रिय है. So whatever, so our war, which has started with 5 indriya, now it has gone to deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into atomic level. Okay. So after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we realize that we cannot fight a direct war anymore. Because if we continue fighting a direct war, we will finish. All of us will be finished. So at that time, the war was turned from a direct war into a Cold War. And what is Cold War? So war में क्या है कि व्यक्ति भी, आप मरने वाले भी और मारने वाले भी एक दूसरे के सामने होते हैं. The killer and killed are always face to face. Cold War में क्या होता है कि कंधा किसी और का होता है. So during the Cold War, we were 3 parties which were fighting in the world. It was Russia, it was Soviet Union, previous Soviet Union, America, and third was non-alignment. So America represents the capitalist, Russia, Soviet Union represents the communist or socialist, and India represents the non-alignment. These 3 parties were fighting with each other. And then human beings start developing new weapons of war. And those weapons of war become more and more sophisticated. And our weapon of war was not direct war, but we were using weaponization of the world. So during this Cold War, we innovated new and new weapon as a market, and we sell those market. And the biggest market during the Cold War era in the world was weapon manufacturing and weapon trading. So we were afraid of atomic war, but we created so many atomic warhead that somebody estimated that we have so many atomic warhead right now that we can finish the earth minimum 800 times. That much atomic nuclear weapon we have right now existing on the earth. But somebody asked a very interesting question. If we are finished by one time we used, what for we will use the other 800 weapons? The answer is the other 799 nuclear weapons are not to finish the earth, not to kill anyone, but to trade, but to sell, but to market, but to imprison the world, but to engage the world into a death trap. That was the second weapon which was developed during the Cold War. And during the Cold War, there are so many other weapons were used. And the biggest weapon was institutions were used as weapon. WTO, World Bank, IMF, trade sanctions, and dollar was used as a weapon. That you cannot purchase oil other than dollar. So you have to trade everything, purchase everything, buy everything in dollars. So in 1947, Indian rupees and dollar was equal. 1 rupee was equal to $1. And now we are 82 rupees against $1. That means anyone who is sitting in US without doing anything, it is called the economics of unequal advantage. Anyone who is doing trade with India, they are earning 8,200% profit because of doing nothing. Because they are dealing in trade, they are in America, so they are earning that much profit. So no matter what we do, how much we develop our economy, our technology, we can never compete with. Nobody in the world can compete with Americans. Not because of innovation, they are lacking in innovation and research or anything, but they have been because the currency has been weaponized. And the biggest weapon they have invented through the history is called currency. And now, after 1989, with the collapse of Soviet Union, we enter into the third war. And the third war is called trade war. We are living now in the era of trade war. Now the world is not tripolar or bipolar. The world is unipolar. Now we have only one hegemony, and that is capitalism is ruling. America is ruling the world. They are making the rules. They are deciding the terms of the trade. They are deciding the terms of the law. They are deciding the terms of doing all the business in the world at whatever level. So if I summarize it, 10 lakh years of war was equal to or more than equal to far less than 50 years, 70 years of Cold War. And last 30 years, we are into the trade wars. And in trade wars is the unipolar world, where we don't know who is the enemy for whom and who is fighting against whom and what are their purpose. So today I will try to decipher, decode some of the jinx of the trade war, what is happening right now. I'll use the very traditional Indian simile, like श्वेत केतु पूछता है कि आत्मा क्या है यम से, तो यम रथ की एग्जांपल से उनको समझाता है कि ओके कि आत्मा ये है. ठीक है. तो if I say कि since last 30 years we are in the phase of unipolar war. इसमें शिकारी कौन है और शिकार कौन है? किसका शिकार किया जा रहा है, कौन शिकार है? शिकारी है वर्ल्ड बैंक, IMF, यूनाइटेड नेशंस, financial institutions, banking institutions, World Economic Forum, etc. Because they are making all the rules. And the shikar hai the entire existence. When I say entire existence, I mean 800 crore people living on this earth. They are the victims. All the flora and fauna. Because right now, just because of 30 years of trade war and 70 years of 50 years of Cold War, we are at the verge of sixth human extinction, life extinction on the earth. But the previous 5 extinction was nature-made, and this is man-made. And if we did not reverse our mode of living, economic mode of living, political mode of living, social mode of living, democratic mode of living, or fighting trade war mode of living, earth, technology, way of humanity will push nature and earth to that level that we will not be sustainable anymore. So this life form, this life way of life is not sustainable more than 10 years. So that is why we are entering into another war. So the shikar kaun hai? Puri ki puri Shrishti, the entire existence on earth is the victim of this trade war. What is the wheel of this chariot? World war. This is new trade war chariots. What are the wheels? The wheels are investment. International investment. If I have to say very crisp data, if I give to you, in 2019, the world GDP was only $72 trillion. Just before COVID, after the advent of COVID, within 1 month, $20 trillion were printed in the name of humanitarian help. So the currency in the world increased by 25% within a month. And that currency was given as an investment to 4 institutional investors. They put that entire currency into share market, and which got invested in all the countries of the world selectively. In India, they selected Adani, Ambani, and few others. In America, they selected Trump, Zuckerberg, Amazon, or Bill Gates, like that. Okay, so selected 500 companies were invested $20 trillion. $20 trillion was equal to the 25% of the global GDP. That much money was printed just in 1 month. Humanity took almost 10 lakh years to earn $72 trillion. And out of nothing, 20 trillion was printed, and they were given in the hand of 4 institutional investors. They invested that money into 500 billionaires. When entire world was into lockdown, our share market were open and they were booming. And within 10 days during that lockdown, the share market, the selected 500 billionaires earned $50 trillion. In India, Ambani, and in America and Musk, they were sitting on $5 billion total wealth before COVID. And after COVID, 3 years after COVID, Adani is sitting on $158 billion. And Elon Musk is sitting $238 billion. So nobody has earned that much money in any point of time, collectively human history. That much money they have made within last 3 years. And during those 3 years, in the name of humanitarian help, you have heard that there's new weapon was developed, and the weapon is called economic help, economic aid. Sri Lanka's total debt was 92% of their GDP before COVID. And within 2 years, their debt rise to 118%. And Sri Lanka become bankrupt. India's debt was 72% before COVID. Now it is 98%. Which means every Indian is under debt worth 97,000 rupees. Every newborn child is already in debt. And within next 2 years, India will also be more than 100% of their GDP. But that is not restricted to India only. America's debt is $31 trillion. Their GDP is only $25 trillion. Their debt is $31 trillion. Japan debt is 256% of their GDP. Spain debt is near about 160% of their GDP. UK's debt is also near about 150% of their GDP. So all the big economy, rich economies, debt is more than 150% of their GDP, except US. So that means the total debt of the entire world is right now sitting on, the total GDP of the world is $100 trillion approximately. And the debt of the entire world is more than 300 trillion. That is 3 times the GDP of the entire world. So now the question is, who is indebting America and all the superpowers of the world? ये debt कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये पैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है? GDP is only 100 trillion and the debt is 300 trillion. Friends, the reality is the biggest weapon which trade war has developed is called currency. Because with currency, now what we have done, because the market, the battleground of trade war is market, liberalization, trade, international trade. That is market. And that is free market. So you do whatever you want. And the invading partners are foreign direct investors. And the foot soldier, who are the foot soldiers? Who is fighting this war? Who are fighting face to face? They are called democratic public of the world, which is in dilemma, which is in confusion, which is in wrong assumption that all the money is theirs. All the boards are theirs. All the courts are for them. All the religious places, academies, education are for them. Intellectuals are for them. They are under assumptions. Because the complete power of the democratic country is in 4 pillars. Number 1 is note, yani currency. Number 2 is vote, that is democracy. Universal franchisee, that we select our own leaders. Third is court, universal justice. The justice is equal, everyone is equal before the law. That is the third assumption. And fourth is devote, that I can choose my faith. I can study whatever I want. I can have my own opinion and belief. I can choose my attitude. I can choose my opinion. These are the 4 fundamental illusions that 800 crore people are having. Number one, they are believe that all the currency belongs to them. It is because of their productivity. It is because of their saving. It is their deposit in the bank. They are assuming it. Number two, they're assuming that they are choosing all the leaders. Whether they are choosing Congress or AAP or BJP, it is their government, or Democrat or Republicans, or Tories or Socialists. It is assumption. And the third is they are assuming that the court work for them, justice work for them, whether it is an Indian or it is an international, and there is a justice in the world, they're assuming. And the fifth is they're believing that academician, media, trade, religious leaders work for them. Friend, these four things has been compromised and weaponized since antiquity. I given you example. What is the situation of the total currency? The entire currency, the people own only 100 billion. That is equal to the GDP of the world. But they have been in debt equal to 300 trillion. So who has given 300 trillion debt to them? Because the currency do not belong to government, the currency do not belong to people, the currency belong to financial institutions. They print the money and they can print as much money as they want. Second, with digital voting, with ballot box, ballot bond, you can purchase as many companies, as many political parties you can want. You can. Just to give an example in India, Gautam Adani, just an example, and this is you can generalize in the entire world. Gautam Adani earned 8,000 crore rupees per day during last 3 years. And they all earn in share market. Very good. It was fair wall. And his capacity, the entire Indian media, print and audiovisual media, the total worth of entire media is only 5,000 crore in India. So he can purchase all the media by just single days because they are on sale. They are private players. They can sold and they have been sold. He own Adani and Ambani's own 43 media houses in India. Just 2 people. And the total wealth of all the political parties, national and regional, small and bigger, is less than 10,000 rupees. 10,000 crore rupees. So he can spend just 2 days income earning and he can buy them all. And through them, when media and political parties are in your pocket, you can make any law. You can get it passed. You can get it sanctioned. So whether it is demonetization, whether it is GST, whether it is farm laws, whether it is lockdown, whether it is universal vaccination, whether it is impose a testing vaccine on all the masses of India, 140 crore people have been vaccinated without even a test. And then they can say that not even a single person has died because of lack of oxygen. Even when WHO is saying 47 lakh people has died in India, government is saying, oh no, only 4 lakh people has died. And where the 43 lakh people has gone? There's no answer. There's no question. Answer is a far away. There's no question about it. Nobody's asking a question about it because they are not heard of it. So now the last question is, what is the motto of this war? Who is fighting this war? Selected 500 companies owned by 4 institutional investors and which also owned by banking institutions. They were fighting this war to turn the entire existence, flora, fauna, humanity, culture, value, philosophy, religion, into a market, into an asset. And only by mastering one weapon, that is currency, and they can print infinite amount of currency. And by printing that currency, they can buy any government, they can buy any court, they can buy any institution, and they can buy any system. And they have purchased. So I was listing, if you want to purchase the entire world, control the entire world, what you need to control. So number one, you need to control 18 institutions. Number one, you need to control banking institutions. So all the central bank of the world are controlled by centralized banking institutions. Number two, you have to control law, education. If you see whether you are in India or Europe or Canada, education system is virtually same kind of syllabus, same kind of degree system. Third, you have to control health. And you will see there is a uniform health system in the entire world. And the same pharmaceutical companies, same health rules, health ministries, and WHO control all the health structure in the world. Fourth, you have to control education and information. So information of the entire world has been highly centralized, and few selected companies like Google and others, they control the entire information system or information highway of the world. And likewise, I will just mention that you can, recount it. Water of the world has been sold. Natural resources of the world has been sold and purchased by selected companies. Trade has been controlled by 500 companies of the world. Then entertainment is controlled. Movies are in control. Lifestyle is controlled. Construction style is controlled. Technology is controlled, war industry is controlled, pharmaceutical industry is controlled, food industry is controlled, and now even the political parties are controlled. So most of the world has been controlled and weaponized by banking institutions by using one tool, and that tool is called currency. And they can print as much currency they want. This has been already been done. Now, with this thing, there is a very beautiful trick of the trade. The trick of the trade is they want people, and that is called controlled opposition and controlled chaos. So there is a controlled chaos is happening in the world. There was a controlled chaos happening in Ukraine and Russia war. What for they were fighting? Why Russia and Ukraine fighting? So fight is going in Russia and America, and who is suffering? The last villager in India and Congo is suffering, because oil pricing of the world energy prices of the world has shoot up. And there is a food crisis going on in the entire Europe. And the prices of the entire world, inflation is going high in the entire world. And unemployment is high in the entire world. So one event happening any corner of the world, which you have nothing to do, is affecting every individual of the earth. To that extent, the entire world has been, pipelined. We are living in a grid system right now. And our grid, our life, for example, I'm living in my house. So in order to live my house, I need to internet. Internet is a grid. And they can control and switch off my internet in a single second, because that's a grid. Somebody sitting in US can control my internet, my information, my knowledge, my entertainment. Second thing I need is electricity. And somebody sitting somewhere can switch off the entire electric grid, number two. And third is my energy, that is my gas line. And somebody can switch off that gas line because I'm living in a grid. And fourth is my transportation. My fuel, that is my petrol, my gas, and somebody sitting somewhere can control and switch off my grid, and I'm off it. And then this grid doesn't end here. Then my currency, my money, all the transactions are on a grid. That is called currency grid, online trading, digital transaction. And somebody sitting somewhere whom I don't know, they can switch off, take one decision, and all my wealth will be gone in a single day. And similarly, Right now, we are moving on the digital currency. And the next thing in the trade war, that they are looking for a universal currency owned by a one universal government, that somebody will decide which currency I need. So if one country do not have any currency, any monetary policy, they don't have any sovereignty. So now we are moving toward that law, democracy, information, war, and even virus has been weaponized. COVID, do you think was a weapon, man-made weapon, or nature-made calamity? So there are the high chances that virus has been weaponized, because now we have developed a very micro technology that we can control RNA and DNA. Because all the vaccine which we have been put it and injected in your body, they are RNA. And what kind of havoc and changes they will bring about in your body, at what rate, at what time, in what condition, you don't know. So during the biggest war of what happened during Corona is that the entire world population has been vaccinated, and now your immunity has been also weaponized. That if you will have any small cough, cold, sneeze, headache, fever, it will be rated as COVID, and then you have to be vaccinated. So every time you have any kind of symptoms, you will have to be vaccinated. Now, all the infections and inflammation, which my body was controlling and rectifying itself because of its innate immunity, now I will have to depend upon somebody's vaccination and shot. So it means even my inbuilt immunity, which nature has granted me in the process of billions of years of evolution, has been compromised and made dependent upon, gridded upon somebody's decision that you need to be vaccinated. And finally, the biggest weapon is called our weather, our mind, our inner weather and external weather. External weather is nature. Now we have a HARP technology that we can modify weather. We can bring rain anytime, and we can take away rain anytime. We can change weather or temperature anytime. That is already in the cart. And people are asking questions in India and everywhere in the world, how this heat wave is coming up. There's no natural cause is given, but somebody we have the technology to mend the weather. And the biggest battleground is our mind space. Because our mind can only take only 7 things at the same time. I have spoken hundreds of things so far in last 45 minutes or so. But you can retain only 7 of them. The rest of the things are just in the background. So 99% people cannot retain beyond that. So our media keep on pushing those things, new things in our mind, so that all the sensitive matters regarding employment, regarding poverty, regarding jobs, regarding environment, regarding our Sumet Shikhar, invasion of our Tirth, or commercialization, or converting our Tirth into a tourist place. That is, हमारी जो धर्म व्यवस्था है उसको मार्केट व्यवस्था के हवाले करने का ये षड्यंत्र है. अगर किसी तीर्थ की सेंटिटी को खत्म करना है, उसमें कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसको कमर्शियल लोगों के हाथ में दे दो, दे विल, और वो पैसा कमाने के लिए वहां कोई भी धंधा कर लेंगे. सो आपकी जो सेंटिटी है वो परमानेंटली खत्म है. सो किसी धर्म को खत्म करने के लिए, इफ यू वांट टू फिनिश एनी रिलीजन, you need not kill the devotees, you just commercialize it. In India, Kashi has been commercialized, Mathura has been commercialized, Golden Temple has been commercialized without the permission, and nobody raised any question. And whosoever raised any question, it was never heard of. Now it is Jain's turn. all the Buddhist sites in India has been commercialized. They are the biggest tourist place in India. Any Buddhist organizations do not have any say what decisions are being taken over there. But nobody talk about, because when they were talking about Buddhists, Jain did not say anything. Hindus did not say anything. Sikh did not say anything. And when they were attacking Sikhs, turning six religious places or holy places into a commercial places, Hindus were not speaking anything. Now, finally, it is Jain's turn. It was Palitana, it is Smet Shikhar, and virtually it will be every space. Now Jains are on the street that you cannot interfere with our religious places, our holy places. But you don't know, because the New World Order want to weaponize religion. And their weapon is convert religion into, they don't want decentralized different religion. They want only one religion. They want one government. They want one currency. They want one education system. They want one health system. They want one country. They want one army. They want one media. And they want one mindset. And they want one market. They want one technology. And they want one way of life. To that extent, our world has been converted into a battlefield where few selected players who are invisible, and they have mastered currency, information, science, technology, law, trade, market, mind space, workspace, weather space, and even our inner space, that is our health. And they have turned everything into a weapon. So if we, all of us, do not become aware to what extent our life, our culture, our earth, our environment has been controlled and weaponized, there is too late for everyone. I would say 98% humanity has been compromised. Only 2% is left. And the few powerful communities which were leaving aside, now the attack is on them. There are 3 powerful communities in the world which are left. Now the attack is on them to control them, because they have the maximum resisting power in the world. They have their own culture, they have their own religion, they have their own philosophy, and they have own power, but they are in minority. The number 1 community which is in minority is Jews. Number 2, Sikh, which are only 2 crore in the world, less than 2 crore in the world. The third minority is Jains, which are between 50 lakh to 1 crore. And the 4th community is Parsi. These 4 communities are going to be under stress in next 10 years. Once these powerful community lay down their resistance, there will be no resistance left in the world. That is why there is an attack on Jain spiritual sites. Okay, so this is the small information which I can give in brief time. So I think I have elaborated, taken more than my time. So I will close my my presentation right now. If you have any question, I'll take it.
Sanjeev sir, can you just tell us about the 4 kinds of vaccines that were introduced in people's bodies?
So basically,
that the placebo, those 4 things.
Basically, there were 4 kind of vaccines are there, but let us not go into that detail. But the basic detail was that 75% of the vaccine which were introduced in India, they were placebo. Placebo is basically is a water or glucose injections. So that is why most of the people do not have side effects. And 25% of the people were given RNA vaccines, whether it was Covaxin or other vaccines. Pfizer vaccine or other vaccines, right? There are four different companies where their vaccine has been injected in India. Basically, it was Covaxin by Serum Institute, India. The main issue has been all the people who has been vaccinated, they do not have the similar kind of side effect, because different vaccine has a different side effects. So we don't have any generalized side effect. Number one, 75% people do not have any side effect. That is number one, because they were given a placebo vaccines. Number two, and that is the same story around the entire world. Okay, because you cannot generalize it. They have played it so shrewdly that you cannot point a finger on them. You need to have a consolidated data, which has nobody has consolidated any data. What are the side effects of the vaccines? Okay, so we are trying to collect our first-hand data, which cannot be generalized. That is number one, which 75% people do not have vaccine. And other four type of vaccines have a different side effects. Some are creating cancer, others are creating blood clotting, others are creating sudden strokes, and certain vaccines are creating heart attack problems. So basic issue is there heavy metals have been injected in your body, and those heavy metals are basically creating warming, heating up your plasma, blood plasma. When the blood plasma is heated up, it clot up. The clots are developed in your body. When those clots are developed, if your clots are developed in your head, you will have a head stroke. If the clot is developed in your heart, you will have a heart attack. If the clots are developed in your lungs, you will have breathing problems. So basically, in which part of your body is your clots are developing? So we recommend all the people whosoever has been vaccinated, get tested, because you don't know which vaccine you have received. Number one, get 3 tests done, all of you. Recommend your parents also, basically the senior citizen. Everybody is under threat, because you don't know what is happening in your body, and because it is happening sudden. We call it as a sudden death. People are dying suddenly, walking, doing exercise. Pilots are flying their planes, and you are driving your car, you are driving your motorbike, or you are dancing dandiya. People are dying like that, out of nothing, absolutely no history of any kind, but they are dying. So I recommend get 3 tests done. Number one, blood test, detailed blood test. Number 2, get your kidney test, kidney function test, and third, liver test. And the 4th test you need D-dimer test. So what is the status of blood clotting? Is it happening? It has started happening in your body or not? If the blood has started clotting, then you have a way to declot your blood using thinner. There are homeopathic medicines also. There are naturopathy medicines also. There is a hope. They are not 100%, but there are still some hope, right? So that much I can say.
Thank you, sir. I think we can go on listening to you. But then very, 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 very scary things. So I'll request the students to interact with you for 10 minutes, sir.
Sure.
Sanjeev, sir? Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, and we have some guests from Jazz. We have Dr. Anil Kumar, sir.
Okay.
We have Jaswant Bhai. They're all there. Narendra ji, Bhandari ji, sir is also there, I think.
Okay, wonderful, sir.
I think so. I'm not sure. It says Narendra's personal phone.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure, sir. I welcome them. And over to...
I can see Dr. Anil Jain. Jain sir
is there.
Okay.
Anil sir,
thank you, sir. Jai Jinendra. Thank you very much, Sharma ji, for your thought-provoking lecture. I know your views earlier also. Really, your views are very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, anybody who wants to interact can interact. What is your opinion about what sir has said? Anything new that you have heard and learned? What are you going to do about this?
Can I ask, ma'am?
Please.
Who is using the religion as a weapon? Who is the master of this mind? मतलब mastermind कौन है जिसको religion भी weapon लगते हैं?
जिनको रिलीजन भी वेपन लगता है, जिसको कल्चर भी वेपन लगता है, जिसको एजुकेशन भी वेपन लगता है, जिसको एनवायरमेंट भी वेपन लगता है, जिसको अपने इंटरेस्ट को फुलफिल करने के लिए सारी दुनिया मार्केट और कस्टमर लगती है, उसको वो किराने का व्यापारी भी हो सकता है, रिलीजियस प्लेस में जो मिलावटी चीजें बेचता है, वो नेता भी हो सकता है जो अपने थोड़े बहुत गेन के लिए ऐसे कानून बना देता है कि हमारी करोड़ों लाखों करोड़ों सालों की कल्चर्स को कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर लेता है, उनकी सैंटिटी को कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर देता है। वो बैंकर भी हो सकता है जिसके लिए कल्चर से ज्यादा मार्केट इंपॉर्टेंट है, प्रॉफिट इंपॉर्टेंट है। So any selfish person can do it. But when this selfishness gets centralized, globalized, that it becomes a weapon which all of us get affected. And that is happening in India and everywhere in the world.
सर, रितु के क्वेश्चन से मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, अगर परमिशन हो तो मैं पूछूंगी लास्ट में।
जी प्लीज।
पहले स्टूडेंट्स को मैं पूछने देती हूँ सर।
और मैं अपनी भी एक सोच रखना चाहती हूँ कि शायद मैं भी उस मास्टरमाइंड पर्सन में इंक्लूड हो सकती हूँ, अगर मैं अपने को ये कहूँ कि मतलब मैं जैन धर्म की फॉलोवर हूँ, मैं जैन दर्शन की फॉलोवर नहीं हूँ, तो आई एम ऑल्सो द यूजिंग द धर्म एज अ वेपन.
Yes, when you said you are right and others are wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, 3 questions we will take. Somewhere we have to draw the line.
Sir, how can we reverse the currency problem?
करेंसी प्रॉब्लम क्योंकि आपने क्रिएट नहीं की है, आपने सिर्फ फॉलो किया है ब्लाइंडली इस समय तक, तो आप उस हद तक जा चुके हैं क्योंकि हमारी जिंदगी का हर आयाम, the every aspect of our life has been already commercialized. Because the biggest weapon, if I have to summarize, which is the biggest weapon human being has developed so far, I will say the biggest weapon of human being has developed is currency. And as a Jain community, we has used this currency very well.
Yes, sir. मगर सर हम पे इम्पोज भी, फोर्स भी किया
हाँ, वो फोर्स भी किया गया है, बिकॉज वी आर लिविंग इन ए सिस्टम, कमर्शलाइज मोनेटाइज सिस्टम, तो हम उसको अवॉइड भी नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज जैसे इको सिस्टम में हम ब्रीथ करते हैं, वैसे इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम में हम डील करते हैं. So now how to deal with it? There are the 3 things will not help you. Your gold will not help you, your property will not help you, your currency will not help you in any form. Whether it is a digital or a currency or a gold standard or a silver standard or any standard, it will not help you. Because in 1993, the Federal Reserve Bank and the American government just banned all trade in gold. They can do it anytime, and they're going to do it in soon, within next 5-6 years. They're going to be a law that the trade in bullion will be banned. Because your gold will be lying there, but you will not be able to use it, trade it. Number 2, they are going to ban all trade in property. You will not be able to buy and sell your property, no matter how many no matter how many plots or how many flats or buildings you are owning. You will not be able to trade it. Okay, and the third thing is they are going to digitalize all currency. And that will not be Indian currency. That will be centralized bank digitalized currency. They are going to bring it. Okay. So in that case, you will not be able to get off this grid. If you want to get off this grid, there's only one way. And the off the grid thing is only happening in India. And that is our rural economy. Our rural economy is still 50% off the grid because they have their own fuel. They have their own food. They have their own ecosystem. And if they choose, they can get off that I don't need your electricity. I don't need your petrol. I don't need your gas. I don't need your road. Okay. Don't need your food. I don't need your medicine. I can manage myself. I don't need your education also. I don't need your justice system also. they can go off the grids. Okay, and that is why the Kisan uprising, किसान बिल के खिलाफ जो किसानों का है, they were successful because they were off the grid. गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर वो डिपेंडेंट नहीं थे, उनका फूड अपना था, उनके व्हीकल अपने थे, उनके टेंट अपने थे, उनका खाना अपना था, उनके डॉक्टर अपने थे, उनकी दवाई अपनी थी, राइट, उनका डीजल भी अपना था जी। तो अगर आपको ऑफ द ग्रिड जाना है तो आपको चूज करना पड़ेगा कि आपके जो खेत हैं, आपके गांव के जो घर हैं, आपकी जो गाय है, वो आपको सर्वाइव कर सकते हैं। That is point number 1. Number 2 will be you have to choose collectively कि हम किसी भी डिजिटल करेंसी में या किसी भी दूसरी करेंसी, हम 5 चीजों को करेंसी से बाहर करें। हमें कलेक्टिवली चूज करना पड़ेगा। 5 चीजों को ही ये ग्रेड कर सकते हैं: एजुकेशन को, हेल्थ को, जस्टिस को, एनवायरमेंट को एंड रिलीजन को। ये 5 चीज को अगर आप करेंसी से डील नहीं करेंगे तो वो आपको कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते। तो हमें एज ए कंट्री, हमें एज ए डेमोक्रेसी, हमें एज ए पब्लिक ये डिमांड करना होगा, असर्ट करना होगा कि हम इन 5 चीजों को मोनेटाइज होने नहीं देंगे। या यू कैन से
यस, लास्ट क्वेश्चन।
जी मैम, इट इज योर्स।
लास्ट क्वेश्चन किसी का? सौम्य has raised a hand. Soumya is a first year student from
Yes.
Delhi.
यस सौम्य।
यस, गुड इवनिंग सर। आपका लेक्चर बहुत अच्छा लगा और एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिला कि क्या वेपनाइजेशन हो सकता है। मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर आपने जो भी पॉइंट्स कहे हैं, कंप्लीट वेपनाइजेशन एक तरीके से कह सकते हैं कैपिटलिज्म ही वेपनाइज्ड हो गया। ये कैपिटलिज्म ही वेपन है। तो अगर हम इस टेंडेंसी को या कैपिटलिज्म को नहीं बदल सकते हैं तो हमारे पास इसका कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है। और दूसरी बात ये है कि जो कैपिटलिज्म की जो टेंडेंसी है, आज के दिन सारी बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस या सारी वर्ल्ड की गवर्नमेंट्स या लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज वगैरह, वो उसकी खुद की विक्टिम्स हैं। वो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि वो वेपनाइज कर रही हैं, वो तो खुद कैपिटलिज्म की
दोनों है। वो विक्टिम भी है और वो पार्टी भी है।
ओके, तो सर कैपिटलिज्म का कोई अल्टरनेट होगा तो शायद हम इस वेपनाइजेशन से बच सकते हैं, अदरवाइज तो कोई सॉल्यूशन दिखता नहीं है।
मैं थोड़ा सा आपका जो पर्सपेक्टिव है इसको थोड़ा वाइडन करता हूँ। इट इज नॉट ए क्वेश्चन ऑफ आइडियोलॉजिकल वॉर। It is not a fight between socialism, capitalism, or mixed economy or welfare economy or that. It is not that. It's not an ideological war of a capitalism or no. I believe capitalism and socialism both materialistic. उनमें कोई ज्यादा अंतर नहीं है। ओके, वहां मनी का वही रोल है, वहां लॉ का वही रोल है, वहां सेंट्रलाइजेशन का, दोनों सेंट्रलाइज करते हैं। दोनों सारी की सारी वेल्थ है वो फ्री मार्केट के थ्रू सेंट्रलाइजेशन करते हैं, वो गवर्नमेंट रूल के थ्रू, लॉ के थ्रू सेंट्रलाइजेशन करते हैं। तो दोनों की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूं। हम बेसिकली कह रहे हैं कि हमारे समाज में 3 सत्ताओं का जिक्र है: धर्म सत्ता, राज सत्ता, अर्थ सत्ता। ये तीनों की तीनों सत्ताओं के ऊपर समाज सत्ता होती है। तो हमारे देश में, बिकॉज आई वांट टू समराइज ऑल 3 क्वेश्चंस विद माय सबमिशन, कि हमारे देश में व्यापार हमेशा रहा है। दुनिया में जब से ह्यूमैनिटी आई है व्यापार हमेशा रहा है, क्योंकि ह्यूमन की प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी लिमिटेड है, नीड ज्यादा है। तो हम एक दूसरे के साथ ट्रेड हमेशा से करते आए हैं और ट्रेड करने में मनी का, वाटर का हमेशा यूज रहा है। दैट इज नॉट द रियल प्रॉब्लम। वो ये है कि कहां मोनेटाइजेशन और ट्रेड करना है, धंधा कहाँ करना है और कहाँ धंधा नहीं करना है, ये हमारी भारतीय कल्चर ने दुनिया को सिखाया है। हमने कहा कि हर चीज का हम ट्रेड करेंगे, 5 चीजों का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे। हम शिक्षा का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे। अंग्रेजों के आने से पहले हम शिक्षा का ट्रेड नहीं करते थे। हम स्वास्थ्य का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे, हम पर्यावरण का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे, हम न्याय का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे और हम धर्म का ट्रेड नहीं करेंगे। अगर ये 5 चीजों को हम अपने ट्रेड से बाहर रख सकते हैं तो ह्यूमैनिटी कैन लिव इन हार्मनी विद नेचर एंड वन सेल्फ एंड विद फेलो बीइंग्स। पर अगर ये 5 चीजों को भी का भी सीमा उल्लंघन कर देंगे तो एवरीथिंग बिकम मनी। योर बॉडी बिकम मनी, your culture become money, your thought become money, your possibility can become, your speculation become money, everything become money. So then humanity खत्म हो जाएगी, नेचर खत्म हो जाएगा, रिलीजन खत्म हो जाएगा, सारी चीजें खत्म हो जाएंगी। तो हमारे शास्त्रों ने हमेशा कहा है कि यू हैव टू, आपको अपनी सीमा के अंदर रहना है। अगर मैं वेपन की बात करूं, एनिमल भी आपस में लड़ते हैं। मैं छोटी सी एग्जांपल से इसको समराइज करता हूं कि आपने मैना पक्षी देखा होगा, वो चिड़िया का 5-6 का झुंड होता है, वो हमेशा ची 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 करके 24 घंटे लड़ती रहती है, दिन रात लड़ती रहती है, परंतु उनके लड़ने से जंगल में युद्ध नहीं फैलता। शेर और चीते लड़ते हैं, परंतु उनके फैलने से युद्ध नहीं फैलता। क्यों? क्योंकि उनको पता है कहां लड़ना है, कहां नहीं लड़ना। वो अपनी सीमा में रहते हैं, वो सीमा में लड़ते हैं, और जब उनकी सीमा में उनकी जरूरत पूरी हो जाती है, वो लड़ना बंद कर देते हैं। तो ह्यूमन बीइंग अकेला आदमी है जिसके लड़ने की कोई सीमा नहीं है। सारी की सारी प्रकृति अपनी सीमा को जानती है, अपनी सीमा में जीती है, चाहे वो शारीरिक रूप से हो, चाहे वो भावनात्मक रूप से हो, चाहे मानसिक रूप से हो। तो वो अपनी सीमा में रहती है, तो उस सीमा में जितना मर्जी लड़ झगड़ लो, दुनिया हमेशा अपने ऑर्डर में, अपने सिस्टम में चलती रहेगी। परंतु ह्यूमन बीइंग है जिसने ना अपना फिजिकल सीमा देखी है, ना उसने अपनी साइकोलॉजिकल सीमा रखी है, ना उसने अपने परिवार की सीमा देखी है, ना उसने अपने राष्ट्र की, ना अपनी संस्कृति की, ना अपनी धर्म की, ना अपनी उसने जीवन की सीमा देखी है। ये दुनिया की जो जितनी भी प्रॉब्लम मैंने डिस्कस की है, ये मैन मेड प्रॉब्लम है। नंबर 1, दे आर नॉट नेचुरल मेड प्रॉब्लम। और मैन मेड प्रॉब्लम में की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि ह्यूमन बीइंग हैज फॉरगेट व्हाट आर देयर लिमिट्स। साइंस हमें पावर करती है, हमें फैसिलिटी देती है, परंतु साइंस हमें लिमिटेशन भी बताती है। हम उसका अनइक्वल, इरिवोकेबल, इनफाइनाइट इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते। हमें अपनी सीमाओं को पहचानना पड़ेगा, और उन्हीं सीमाओं को पहचानना ही चारित्र है, उन्हीं सीमाओं को पहचानना ही धर्म है, उन्हीं सीमाओं के अनुसार अपने जीवन को जीना ही धर्म है। तो हमारे भारत में हमने ट्रेड भी किया है, परंतु ये भी कहा है कि अगर तूने दुनिया के मदद से पैसा कमाया है, तो अब आपके पास इनफ हो गया है, अब आप इसको दान करो, यानी समाज के लिए उसका इस्तेमाल करो। यही प्रथा थी कि हम पैसा कमाते थे, तो हमने महाजन प्रथा डेवलप की कि महाजन भारत में दुनिया का सबसे बड़े जो ट्रेडर हैं, बिफोर ब्रिटिश केम टू इंडिया वाज द बिगेस्ट ट्रेडर इन द वर्ल्ड, द इकोनॉमिक सुपर पावर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, और हम पूरी दुनिया में ट्रेड कर रहे थे। परंतु हमने दुनिया की सिक्योरिटी को, दुनिया की फ्रीडम को कभी कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं किया। क्यों? क्योंकि हमारे महाजन क्या करते थे, हमने कमा लिया, इतनी हमारी जरूरत है, अब वो जो पैसा हमने कमाया वो समाज के लिए हम इस्तेमाल करेंगे। इसलिए सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, रोड भी बनते थे, गाय भी बनती थी, स्कूल भी बनते थे, मंदिर भी बनते थे, और अस्पताल भी बनते थे, पांजरा पोल भी बनते थे, हमारा सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनता था। तो इसलिए पैसा कुछ लोगों के हाथ में भले इकट्ठा होता था, परंतु हमारा कल्चर, हमारा धर्म वो सुनिश्चित करता था वो समाज में सर्कुलेट होता चला जाए। परंतु वेस्टर्न कल्चर डू नॉट हैव एनी सच रिलीजन, दे डोंट हैव एनी वे टू आइडेंटिफाई देयर लिमिट्स। उनकी ग्रीड को लिमिट करने की कोई सीमा ही नहीं है, और उसका जो भुगतान है, हम खामियाजा है, वो पूरी एग्जिस्टेंस को भुगतना पड़ रहा है। तो सोल्यूशन क्या है? हमें अपने धर्म को भूलना नहीं है, और हमें उनको भी उस धर्म में लाना है, और उसके लिए हम सबको यूनाइट होके अपने धर्म, अपनी राष्ट्रीयता, अपनी भाषा, अपने एथिक्स, अपनी वैल्यूज, अपने डिफरेंसेस को भूल के अपनी ह्यूमैनिटी एज ए अपना रोल पहचाने। राइट? तो लास्ट वैल्यू होगी कि हर एक जीव के लिए आहार, विहार, सुरक्षा और संवर्धन प्रकृति ने सुनिश्चित किया है, ये हमने वायलेट किया है। अगर हम प्रकृति की सबसे उच्च इकाई हैं, तो हमें प्रकृति की इस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को समझना पड़ेगा और उसका वहन करना पड़ेगा। महाजनों ने वो वहन करना छोड़ दिया, इसलिए यह समस्या आई है। और जो नए महाजन, नए करोड़पति, नए अरबपति, नए भामाशाह बने हैं, उनके पास ऐसा कोई एथिक्स और वैल्यूज नहीं है। ओके, तो जैनिज्म हैज अ बिग मैसेज, बिग रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू टीच द वर्ल्ड कि अभी तक हम कैसे व्यापार करके भी दुनिया में शांति से रहे हैं, तुम भी रह सकते हो।
सर, चैट में एक मैसेज है कि आपने जो भी कहा उसके एविडेंसेस क्या हो सकते हैं, या एविडेंसेस का बेस क्या है।
What we can do,
एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन है कि फिर वैल्यूज का क्या, वैल्यू क्या है संसार में, अहिंसा, संयम, तप, इन सब के क्या मायने हैं जब दुनिया इस विनाश के कगार पर है। तो ये हम किसको पढ़ाएं, कौन पढ़ेगा, कौन लेगा इन सब चीजों को, महावीर के सिद्धांतों को आज कौन झेलेगा?
मुझे लगता है कि महावीर के इन्हीं वैल्यूज की इस दुनिया में आज सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है, और इन्हीं वैल्यू को री इन्वेंट करके ही ह्यूमैनिटी बच सकती है, इसके अलावा कोई और चारा नहीं है। और इसी समय के लिए हमारे सारे के सारे आगम इंसानियत का मार्गदर्शन करते रहे हैं, और उस मार्गदर्शन को, इस मैसेज को हम सबको री एक्सप्लोर करके उसको समझना पड़ेगा। तो हमारी वैल्यूज क्या है कि अस्तित्व में व्यवस्था है, ऑर्डर है, डिसऑर्डर केवल ह्यूमन बीइंग में है, क्योंकि ह्यूमन बीइंग अपने अंदर के ऑर्डर को, अपनी ट्रू कैरेक्टर को, ट्रू नेचर को, ट्रू पर्पस को भूल गया है। वो शरीर और वस्तुओं से अपने आप को खुश करने की अनंतता हासिल करना चाहता है। उसमें कोई अनंतता नहीं है, अनंतता केवल जीवन की है। जीवन को, जीव को सुख चाहिए, और वो सुख ज्ञान में है, वो भोग में नहीं है। तो भोग विलासता से, प्रिय हित लाभ या ताकत से हमें सुख नहीं मिलने वाला। हमें त्याग से, हमें दर्शन से, हमें ज्ञान से, हमें चरित्र से, हमें अहिंसा से, और हमें मानवीय मूल्यों से एक दूसरे के साथ, अपने साथ, अपने परिवार के साथ, अपने समाज के साथ और प्रकृति के साथ समन्वय और संतुलन से जी के हम सुख प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। तो ये वैल्यू क्राइसिस भी है सबसे बड़ा, और उस वैल्यूज का हमारे जो सारे के सारे सनातन धर्म के जितने भी धर्म हैं, चाहे हिंदू हैं, बौद्ध हैं, जैन हैं, सिख हैं, वो इस मैसेज को उन्होंने प्रिजर्व किया है। और इसलिए ये जो सारी सिविलाइजेशन है, बाकी सारी सिविलाइजेशन आई और गई, परंतु इंडियन सिविलाइजेशन कंटिन्यूसली चली है, क्योंकि हमने बार बार अपने आप को, अपनी प्रोस्पेरिटी को सेकेंडरी रखा है। हमने टेक्नोलॉजी को हमने सेकेंडरी कर दिया है, हमने अपने इतिहास को भी सेकेंडरी कर दिया है, परंतु हमने वैल्यू को हमेशा अपनी प्राइमरी फोर्स, अपना गाइडिंग पोस्ट रखा है। दुनिया को भी हमसे यही सीखने की जरूरत है।
राहुल जी, आप पूछ सकते हैं।
May I give answer to the first question?
जी अनिल भाई, प्लीज
उसमें कि नरेंद्र पार्सन जी का जो मैसेज है चैट बॉक्स में, उसके संदर्भ में कहना चाहूंगा, ये जैसे शर्मा जी ने कहा था वैक्सीन के साइड इफेक्ट को लेकर के, अभी रिसेंटली 15-20 दिन पहले राजस्थान पत्रिका के संपादकीय में गुलाब कोठारी ने दवी जवान में लिखा था कि वैक्सीन के साइड इफेक्ट, मैं खुल करके नहीं लिखा था, खाली मैं एक जानकारी के लिए कहना चाह रहा हूँ, क्योंकि रिसेंटली पिछले 20-25 दिनों में जितनी मौतें हुई हैं वो अचानक हार्ट अटैक, 2-3 का तो मैं खुद प्रत्यक्षदर्शी हूँ। मेरा भांजा भी उसमें से एक है जो चला गया उसमें। और मैंने तो एक ऐसा भी देखा, जिस तरह से पालिताना प्रोग्राम हुआ, वहां पर जो एंकरिंग कर रहे थे बाहर निकले और उनको हार्ट अटैक।
मेरे कोलीग पनारा साहब ऐसे ही गए सर।
हाँ, इतना ही नहीं, एक मैं अभी
महेश भाई भी उसी से गए।
इससे पहले वहाँ ललितपुर गया, वहां की संगोष्ठी में वो अच्छा भला आदमी भाषण दे करके अपना वहां वो अपना पेपर पढ़ करके नीचे उतरा स्टेज पर, हार्ट अटैक फील किया, 2-3 दिन बाद कोलैप्स कर गया। तो ये गुलाब कोठारी ने दवी जवान में लिखा है एडिटोरियल में, मतलब एक में खाली आपको उस बारे में कहना चाह रहा। थैंक यू सर।
मैम ने जो एविडेंस मांगे हैं, तो एक बुक है, वो मैम को मैं वो हिंदी और गुजराती और इंग्लिश तीनों में ट्रांसलेट की गई है। उसका बुक का वो हमारे एक मित्र और एक जैन साधु ने मिलकर वो कंपाइल किया। उसका बुक का नाम है इल्यूमिनाटी। ठीक है, वो बुक के जो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग किताब है जो हम लोगों ने कंपाइल की है एज ए बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, और उसमें जितने भी रिसोर्सेज मैंने अभी कोट किए हैं, उसका जो सारे के सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशनल प्रूफ उस पुस्तक में ऑलरेडी है। तो उसका जो यूआरआई कोड आप स्कैन करेंगे तो हमारे गूगल ड्राइव में चले जाएंगे। तो गूगल जितनी भी बातें मैंने कही हैं, उसके सारे के सारे जो रेफरेंस हैं, ऑडियो विजुअल बुक्स एंड ऑल, वो आपको वहां पे मिल जाएंगे। ठीक है, और किसी मेरे सज्जन ने कहा है कि आपने उसको एविडेंसेस नहीं दिए, क्योंकि 1 घंटे की जनरलाइज टॉक में एविडेंसेस में चला गया, द लेक्चर विल गो समवेयर एल्स। ठीक है, तो आई अंडरस्टैंड, मैंने एविडेंसेस कम दिए हैं क्योंकि ये जो लेक्चर था ये केवल पर्सपेक्टिव बिल्ड करने के लिए था. इन फ्यूचर अगर आप इसके बारे में और डिटेल में बात करने लगे, डेफिनेटली आई विल गो इनटू डिटेल ऑफ एविडेंसिंग इट.
Okay.
Priya ma'am.
Yes, yes, Rahul, you want to say something quickly? We are running out of time.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I just want to say that if we have the proof of this particular thing, ki this vaccination is actually creating too much problem in the human life, so we can write the research paper on this, and I will be ready for doing so. Okay, and we can prove to the world that this is really, if we have scientifically evidence of that particular thing, maybe sir will help me out, so we can write one research paper and to publish to the people. Although I know that that is very difficult, because those who wants to ये बहुत बड़ा problem होगा, those who wants to don't hide this problem from the world, maybe they will not allow me to publish this paper, but still we will try. This is one thing. And second thing, sir, what you said is that education is it should be out of the trade, but I think that today that we all in this commercialized world, and we think that हम लोग सबसे ज्यादा education में ही we are totally involved, and we also think that our future generation would be studying in the convent schools, in the missionary schools, right, that way, because of all this insufficient knowledge. So what you have given the knowledge, that how the currency, how the digital currency, which will be the next weapon for the whole universe, so I think I am truly agree with you. But in spite of that also, we should start minimizing those things from ourselves. This is, I think, we can say, and we should implement those things from our home itself, that we should not we should tell to our children the correct path, what is the correct way. And I think this is the beautiful explanation I have heard from this lecture. So thank you so much.
I think we'll have to have wait, am I I think we'll have to have a follow-up lecture, and that depends on your curiosity, students. So I
Yes,
would like
ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, madam.
It is a very good
need some
lecture,
more.
ma'am. We
Yeah.
made, ma'am.
Yeah, can I get 3 people's response for sir's lecture? And quickly, 3
Sir,
people,
very
what
well.
are you going to do about this knowledge? What is your takeaway? Quickly.
Jai
Ma'am, I would
Jinendra,
like-
sir. This is Anand Lakshmi from Chennai. This is very excellent lecture I heard, sir. Actually, from your lecture, we have to give more importance to village, sir. We have to concentrate. We should be self-sufficient to ourselves. This is a takeaway from your lecture, sir.
Second, thank you, Anandi. Second person who would like to quickly record their takeaway. Sir, you can see the chat. People are sending the message.
Sir, excellent
Observe.
lecture. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
I'm observing it. I'm reading it.
Yes.
I would like one quick review from Dr. Anil Jain.
Sir, time नहीं है sir.
अनिल जैन जी से बस एक छोटा सा रिव्यू.
उन्होंने तो कहा है.
But anyway. जी.
He interacted with you and he supported your research.
Thank you, ma'am. Then
Yes.
quick review from your side, ma'am. Final.
Yes, Rahul. Yes, किसी का हाथ ऊपर है. Jaswant Shah, sir.
Ma'am, I would like to say.
Yes, sir. Quickly, sir.
Ma'am, I would like to say that from the major takeaway from this lecture was that stay away from commercialization of all the things, basically 5 things: education, health, etc. And that one thing is to look into our own self for happiness and contentment. We should not look otherwise outside in all the material things for happiness. That will be the spiritual takeaway from this lecture. Thank you, sir.
But I think the need of the hour is to collectively come forward and build forests, okay, build gurukuls, and take to nature cure, and go back to your roots in a collective way. I think that is, see, if we have to talk about solutions, then again, we'll request Sanjeev sir to give one more lecture and talk about the solutions. Problems you have told us. So solution पर हम काम करें. और एक फौज बनाए,
जी
तो उस दिशा में हम क्या कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज ही इज ट्रेन सो मेनी पीपल. सो लेट अस ट्राई टू, जैसे वो बोलते हैं ना, जंगल में आग लगी थी, चिड़िया ने पानी डाला, तो हम भी वो छोटी सी चिड़िया बने और हम आग बुझाने वाले बने, ना कि आग लगाने वाले बने.
जी
So that is my takeaway, and I'm so happy.
we
I'm
are
happy. I'm really
800 we are 800 crore chidiyas.
Yes. So सब चिड़िया चहकने लगेगी तो शायद,
जी
है ना, वो जंगल के जो शैतान है पर्यावरण को खत्म करने में शायद
जी
देर हो जाए, उसमें थोड़ी और पंचम आरा खत्म होने में थोड़ा और
जी
सुखद तरीके से बीतेगा वो जो भी है.
डेफिनेटली मैम, जब भी आप मुझे ऑर्डर करेंगे आई विल कम एंड
Yes, sir.
शेयर माय थॉट्स.
मैं आपका जो करिकुलम विटे है, बायोडेटा में स्टूडेंट्स को भेज दूंगी. फिर मैं इन लोगों से पूछूंगी कि आप लोगों को क्या टॉपिक्स चाहिए, और फिर मैं आपसे भी निवेदन करूंगी कि आप, मैंने आपको ये सब बोलते हुए सुना, तो मैंने कहा आप ये टॉपिक दीजिए, आपकी और क्या एक्सपर्टीज है, और आप इन बच्चों को स्पिरिचुअली, रिलीजियसली, कल्चरली, अहिंसा वे में आप कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं. आपका हमेशा स्वागत रहेगा.
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time and kind listening. Thank you.
And I
very much.
thank
Thank you,
all the
sir.
people who have attended today's lecture, and we
Thank
look
you very
forward
much.
every Saturday 7 to 9 we'll be having special lectures for 3 months in the department.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Jai Jinendra.
Thank you.